Everybody, welcome to class today. Today is going to be a hybrid class. So this is definitely not a traditional yoga class in any sense of the word. We do some sun A's and some sun B's to warm up, and then a lot of the movements have similarities to yoga, but it is by no means a yoga flow. So we are using weights today. I would say that you're really not going to get a whole lot out of this class if you don't have weights of some description, but you can certainly try out body weight if you wanted to. We're doing a lot of weighted mobility strength work, so a lot of twisting, hip opening sort of things. I'm using fairly heavy weights, so I'm using a kettlebell that is 16 kilos or 35 pounds. And then I have a kettlebell that is about 12 kilos or 25 pounds. You can definitely use something lighter than that. You do not have to go that heavy. I've worked my way up to this. There is a lot of twisting movements with our arm up overhead. So shoulder issues, shoulder stability is an issue for you. I would definitely go lighter and then work your way into it. I also have 2 dumbbells. It's just for one move. So if you only have one weight, then just grab that one weight and that will be fine for the whole thing. If you don't have kettlebells, that is also not an issue. You could use a dumbbell or anything around your house that has some weight to it that you can hold in front of you or hold up above your head without it falling on you. I really like to incorporate weights into these kind of yoga flow mobility sort of movements because it is so important for us to do resistance training, and also weighted mobility, weighted yoga kind of work helps to improve your mobility because it builds strength in those positions as opposed to just like going and hanging out and stretching into your ligaments and just stretching out through your passive structures. We're actually teaching our body to hold ourselves in those different ranges of movement and therefore building strength. And then when you go and do all the other things in your life, you're much better at them. Anyway, that is my spiel. If you enjoy these classes, please remember to like and subscribe and tell a friend. And if you've got comments or feedback, please keep them appropriate and let me know in the comment section below. We are going to get started today with our sun salutations at the top of the mat in Tadasana. Start at the top of your mat in Tadasana. On your inhale, sweep your arms all the way up to the sky, look up. As you exhale, generous bend in your knees, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Drop your tail towards the floor, start to roll up the length of your spine to stand. On your inhale, sweep your arms up again. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. One more time, drop the tail towards the floor, roll up the length of your spine. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. This time as you exhale, step back into your high plank pose. Take a couple of breaths here, moving forwards and backwards on the wrists. If you need to drop your knees to the floor, you can certainly do that. Then you're going to turn your fingers to face the side edges of your mat, and you're just going to take a little rock side to side. Again, you can do this from your knees if you prefer. Bring your hands back to normal. Shift yourself forward, take an inhale. As you exhale, lower down, chaturanga. As you inhale, press yourself back to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale to plank. One more. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale to plank. Exhale, send your hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Pedal out through the feet. And then start to walk yourself slowly all the way up to the top of your mat. My mats are sliding on top of my other mats. As you inhale, take a halfway lift and lengthen. As you exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come all the way to stand. We'll take our Surya A. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. As you exhale, step, walk, or float, chaturanga. Inhale to plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Look to the top of your mat, step, walk, or float. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. As you exhale, forward fold. Inhale, step, walk, or float back to chaturanga. Inhale to plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Look to the top of your mat, step, walk, or float. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come all the way to stand. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. As you exhale, step, walk, or float, chaturanga. Inhale to plank. Exhale, downward dog. We'll do one more. Make your way to the top of your mat. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to fold. Inhale, come all the way to stand. Exhale to fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, step, walk, or float, chaturanga. Inhale to plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Look to the top, step, walk, or float. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come into your chair pose. As you exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale to plank. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, sweep your right leg up to the sky. Exhale, step it all the way through. Crescent lunge as you inhale. Exhale here. As you inhale, tap your back knee to the floor. Exhale, pick it up. Open up, warrior two. Inhale, stay for the exhale. Flip your front palm, reverse your warrior as you inhale. As you exhale, side angle pose, right forearm to the right thigh. Inhale, reverse your warrior. As you exhale, cartwheel the hands down. Take it through your vinyasa. As you inhale, sweep your left leg to the sky. Exhale, step it through. Inhale, come up, crescent lunge. Stay for your exhale. Inhale, tap the back knee. Exhale, crescent. Inhale, open up, warrior two. Stay for your exhale. Reverse your warrior as you inhale. As you exhale, cartwheel the hands down. Take it through your vinyasa. Look to the top of your mat, step, walk, or float. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step, walk, or float. Chaturanga. Inhale to plank. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, sweep the right leg. Exhale, step it through. Inhale into your crescent. Exhale to stay. Inhale, tap the knee. Exhale, crescent. Inhale, warrior two. Stay for the exhale. Reverse on your inhale. Side angle on your exhale. Reverse warrior, inhale. Exhale, take it through your vinyasa. Inhale, sweep your left leg up. Exhale, step it through. Inhale, crescent lunge. Stay for your exhale. Inhale, tap the back knee. Exhale, pick it up. Inhale, warrior two. Stay for your exhale. Reverse on your inhale. Side angle as you exhale. Reverse your warrior, inhale. Cartwheel flow through vinyasa. Look to the top of the mat, step, walk, or float. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Generous bend in the knees, roll yourself all the way up to standing. Just going to fix my fan. So, from here, you're going to pick your weight. So I'm going to grab my heavy kettlebell, but you use whatever you are using. We're going to come down into a squat. So feet a little bit wider than you would for your chair pose. Come down into your squat, grab your weight. You're going to curl that weight into your chest. Press into your heels as you exhale, come all the way to standing. Step your right leg back into a crescent lunge. You're going to circle the weight around your head in one direction. Come through center. Circle it in the other direction. Come through center. Press into your left foot all the way up to standing. The weight is going to come into your right hand. You're going to tap the weight to the outside of your left foot. Bring it all the way back up to standing on your left leg. Set the right foot down. and come back into your squat. Weight finds the floor. Both hands find the floor. Come into your curl. Press into your feet. Stand all the way up. Step your left leg back into your lunge. Circle around your head in one direction. Circle the other direction. Press into your right foot. Come all the way to stand. Weight is in the left hand. You're going to tap it to the outside of your right foot. Come all the way back up to standing. Come all the way straight first. Then set your left foot down. Come back into your squat. Curl the weight into your chest. Press to stand. Right foot steps back. We circle. We circle. Come to stand on your left leg. Weight in the right hand. Tap the weight to the outside of your left foot. It's like a twisted warrior 3. Come all the way back up. Set the right foot down. Come into your squat. I'll talk you through it one more time. Curl. Press to stand. Step your left foot back. Circle. Circle. Press to stand on the right foot. Weight into the left hand. Tap to the outside of the right foot. Come back up to stand. Left foot down. Come into your squat. We're going to go for 6 more in total, so you do 3 more on each side. Take it at your own pace. One more on each side. Don't worry if you're not with my pace. When you finished your last one, you're going to set that weight off to the side just for breath. Inhale, sweep the arms up. And flush it out with a vinyasa. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. As you exhale, step walk or float. Make your way through your vinyasa. Make your way to the top of the mat. Step walk or float. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. If you're using multiple weights, I would grab a slightly lighter one for this next one. So the weight is going to start on the ground. If you're using a kettlebell, your finger, your little finger is going to face out. We're going to do a clean. So it's a little bit of a hinge back at the hips. Press into your feet. You're going to rotate that kettlebell around so that it comes to rest at your shoulder. If you're using a dumbbell, it's a little bit less important, but that's the most comfortable way to do it. So that's going to be our first move. So take a big exhale as you bring that weight into your shoulder. You're going to step your right foot towards the back of the mat like you're coming into a, woo, my mat's just slid out from underneath me, like you're coming into a skandasana. Hopefully your mats didn't just take a ride on you. We're going to come from this skandasana all the way to a side angle. So press that weight above your head. Your left hand comes down to the inside of your left foot. Keep that weight where it is. You're going to straighten out through your left leg, come all the way to standing. Rotate your torso towards the top of the mat. Weight comes to the shoulder as you step it up. I'm going to have to change my flooring situation. Otherwise, we're going to have an accident, which might be funny for you, but definitely not funny for me. Okie dokie. Let's try this on the other side. So weight's going to come into your left hand. We'll go slow to start with. Left hand comes to the left shoulder with the weight. You'll step your left leg towards the back of the mat, skandasana. Oh yeah, this is way better. Then you're going to press off that left foot into the right leg. Weight comes up towards the sky as your right hand comes down into a side angle. Keep your hand up. Straighten your right leg. Start to reach towards the sky. Bring yourself up. Turn your torso to the front of the mat. Weight comes to the shoulder as you step up. We'll go one more time slow on each side. Weight in the right hand. Clean to your shoulder. Step back, skandasana. Shift forward. Side angle pose. Right hand to the sky, left hand down. Keep your arm up. Straighten your right leg as you lift your torso. Rotate your torso towards the top of the mat. Weight comes to the shoulder as you step yourself up. Bring the weight to the floor. Into your left hand. Bring the weight to the shoulder. Step the left leg back, skandasana. Shift forward, side angle pose. Keep the arm up as you start to lift through your obliques, press through your right leg. Turn to face the top of the mat. Weight to the shoulder as you step it forward. We'll pick up the pace a little bit. Weight in the right hand to the shoulder. Skandasana. Side angle. Come to stand. Rotate. Step to the front. Place the weight down. Left hand. Clean. Skandasana. Side angle. Come to stand. Rotate. Come back to the top of the mat. We're going to do 6 more. Take it at your own pace. One more on each side. The last one. Set that weight down. You'll take it through a vinyasa, flush it out. I'm going to sort out my mat situation. Look to the top of your mat, step, walk or float. Inhale, come into a halfway lift and lengthen. As you exhale, forward fold. Roll yourself all the way up to standing. Once again, for this one, I would probably go a little bit of a lighter weight. So if you're using a kettlebell or a dumbbell, you'll hold it end to end, or if you're using a kettlebell, you'll hold it by the horns. Make sure you've got room behind you on your mat. Feet can be together or hips distance apart. You want a little bit of room in front of you as well, because your knees are going to come to the floor. So you're going to raise all the way up onto your tippy toes. Nice and slow. Weight stays close to your chest. You're going to sink yourself all the way down into a toe squat. You're going to lean your torso back slightly as you tap your knees to the floor. Pick your knees back up, stick the balance in the middle. Then you're going to shift your hips back. Heels come to the floor. We're coming all the way down. Your feet could stay down or they could float in your boat pose. You're going to circle that weight around your head and then circle it in the other direction. And then we're going to reverse. So bring your heels close to you. Use the weight to help you unless you're much more flexible than me. You're going to come back into your little squat, raise up onto your toes, and we're going to come all the way back up to standing. Stay on your toes if you can. Take a nice deep inhale. Slowly lower yourself down. As you inhale, tap the knees to the floor. As you exhale, pick them up. Slowly, with control, lower your heels, lower your hips, come into your version of a boat pose. Circle around your head one way, circle the other way. Bring the weight back to center, bring your heels back towards your hips, shift yourself forward, come back onto your toes, press all the way to standing. So this one's nowhere near as complicated. We're going to go for 6 more here. Oops. And I encourage you with this one, play around with different widths, that's a really hard word to say, of your feet. So try hips distance, try really narrow, because you'll find that through different bodies, one distance will be harder than another. So for me, it's way harder to do my feet hips distance apart. We're going to go for 2 more. This is going to be our last one. Bring it all the way up to standing. Set that weight off to the side. You know the drill. Take a vinyasa, skip it. You can hang out in ragdoll, downward dog, anything you need to do to recover. Bring yourself all the way back up to standing. Depending on your shoulder strength, stability, mobility, you could go heavier or lighter with this. I'm going to start a little bit lighter and I might go heavier. So, actually, you know what? No. Fuck it. I'm going to go heavy. Why not? Badasses lift heavy weights, right? All right. So, take your feet as wide as you want them for your malasana. Some people like to turn out. Some people like to stay neutral. I don't mind. Whatever is the best for your hips. So we're going to do a snatch movement. So before we did a clean where we brought that weight to our shoulder, now we're going to go for a snatch. So you start with your pinky turning out towards the top of the mat, and then that weight is going to, in one fluid movement, come all the way up overhead. So you might just need to practice that a few times. From here, we're going to turn towards the right. So the weight is in my right hand. I'm turning towards the right. My left hand is going to come down towards the floor. I send my hips back. I'm bending my knees a little bit. My right hip is kind of sticking out. I'm keeping that weight up to the sky. I'm then going to bend my knees so that I'm sinking down towards the malasana. I am shifted a bit to the left. Try and even yourself as much as you can. And then as you exhale, you're going to reverse it. So send your hips up, start to straighten your legs. It's like someone is pulling you by your right hand all the way to the top. Weight comes to the shoulder and down to the floor. It's really hard to talk and do these. Okay, we'll go to the other side. So we'll practice the snatch on the other side. So your left pinky faces the front of the room. Little bend in your knees. Think about getting yourself underneath that weight as you bring it all the way up to the sky. Start to turn your torso towards the left. Look up towards your top hand. Start to bend your hips and your knees. That right hand is searching for the floor. Then you're going to bend your knees deep to sink your hips down into malasana. Keep that weight up. Send your hips back up towards the sky. And then like someone is pulling you by your left hand all the way up. Reverse the process. So if this is really hard, start with a lighter weight. It's a lot of shoulder stability. It is a hard movement. We'll go on the right again. We'll take it slow. So come into that snatch. It's a rotation. You start with your pinky facing forward and then your palm ends up facing forward. So big exhale to snatch. Start to turn towards the right. Start to hinge at the hips first. Then start to bend the knees. Fingertips find the floor. Sink your hips down into your malasana. Keep looking up at that kettlebell. Send your hips back up as you straighten the legs. Pull yourself up by your right hand and then rotate back to the top. Weight to the shoulder, weight to the floor. Weight in the left hand. Snatch it up overhead. Start to turn towards the left. Hinge back at your hips. Torso forward, hips back. Fingertips find the floor. Bend into the knees. Sink those hips down into your malasana. Reverse the process. Press into your feet. Send your hips up. Pull yourself up with your left hand, or imagine that that's what's happening. Rotate back to the top, weight to the shoulder, bring it down. Whew. We're going to do 6 more, so 3 more on each side. Take it at your own pace. We're going to go for one more on each side. Bring it down. Set your weight off to the side. Take a vinyasa. Look to the top of your mat. Step, walk, or float. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Generous bend in the knees. Roll yourself all the way up to stand. Again, grabbing a lighter weight for this one. This is a very challenging movement, not necessarily for the reasons that you think it would be. Okay, so you're going to start with your feet staggered. So the same distance that you would have for a crescent lunge, but way shorter. So almost like you were going to come into a really, really short pyramid pose. That's sort of what you're doing with your feet. You're going to start with the weight at your left shoulder. You could do it the other way around, but I'm just starting on the left. So my right foot is forward. The weight is at my left shoulder. My left foot is back. I'm going to turn my body towards the left. Then I'm going to send my hips back like I would in triangle pose, like I'm bringing my right shoulder down towards my right knee. I've got my arm tucked in, but you could use your arm as a little bit of a prop on your thigh. From here, we're going to press that weight up towards the sky. So this is the hard bit. Then you're going to bring that right hand down, straighten out the legs. It's like a little short triangle pyramid. And then just like we did in that last move, you're going to think about your top hand pulling you up to the sky. Feel your obliques working. You're going to rotate back to the front. We're going to do the same side. So bring the weight back to your shoulder. Turn yourself towards the left or whatever leg is back. Start to hinge at your hips. So send that left hip back. Bend in through your knees. Bring that right shoulder down by the right knee. Press the weight away from your body. Then bring the right hand down. Start to straighten out through the legs. Open a bit more. Big exhale. Obliques pull you up to stand. Press into your feet. Rotate towards the top of the mat. Bring it back down to your shoulder. We're just going to do 3 more. Rotate towards the side of your back leg. Hinge back at the hips. Start to bend into the knees to bring that shoulder down by the knee. Press the weight up to the sky. Hand comes down. Straighten the legs. Pull yourself back up to the top. Keep the arm overhead as you rotate back to the top of the mat. We're just going to do 2 more on this side. Last one here. And then bring it down, step it to center. Give your arm a little wiggle, and then we'll do it the other side. So hopefully I didn't squash my microphone. So bring your weight to your right shoulder. Step that right foot back about hips width apart. Rotate yourself to the right, and you might have to wiggle around with your feet to find what works the best for you once you get there. Turn yourself to the right. Start to send that right hip back in space like you're coming into triangle. A little bend in the knees to snuggle that left shoulder near the left knee. Press the weight away. This way it is so much harder. Start to take the left hand down as you straighten the legs. And then exhale. Think about pulling yourself up towards the sky. Keep the twist. De-rotate yourself. Look towards the front. Weight comes back to the shoulder. Turn yourself towards the right. Hinge yourself back at your hips. Look up to the sky. Bend in through the knees a bit. Press the weight away from your body. Take the hand down, straighten the legs. As you exhale, pull yourself back up as those hips come underneath your shoulders. Keep the weight up, rotate to the top of the mat. Weight to the shoulder. Turn to the right. Hinge at the hips. Bend the knees. Press the weight away. Hand down, straighten the knees. Pull yourself up. Turn back to the top. Weight to the shoulder. 2 more. Last one here. Weight comes to the shoulder. Step yourself up to the top. Take it through your vinyasa. From here, you're going to sweep your left leg up towards the sky. You could do either side, but I'm going to take my left leg up to the sky and then exhale, step it through. Low lunge, lower the back knee, untuck the toes. Grab your weight of choice. Again, if shoulders are a bit of an issue for you, go towards the lighter side of things. I'm going to challenge myself and grab my big boofter, my 16. Okay, so you're going to start. Whatever leg is front, the weight is going to be in that hand. This is a lot of shoulder work. So start by bringing your weight to your left shoulder if your left leg is forward or vice versa. You're going to press that weight up and overhead. It's going to stay up there. So just like we've been doing, you're going to twist. So you're going to twist towards your front leg. You've got several options. So your first option would just be bringing your right fingertips down to the floor. Maybe you can bring your right palm down to the floor. Maybe you can start to bend your elbow a bit, or maybe you can bring your whole forearm down to the floor. Keep looking up at that top hand. Then we're just going to reverse it. You're going to press the floor away, come all the way back up to stand, and then de-rotate. If you need to take a break, you bring that weight down. Twist towards your front leg. Bring your right hand, forearm, wherever you're going down. We're staying pretty close to the leg for this variation if you can. Press the floor away and then rotate yourself out of it. We're going to go for 6 more. If you want to do more, you can certainly do more. You're keeping your whole front foot flat to the ground. We've got 1 more. My arm is on fire. Bring it back to your shoulder. Woo! Let it go. Give that arm a shake. You're going to plant your hands, lift your back knee, come back into your lunge. You're going to step back into a plank, step your right foot forward, lower your left knee, and we're going to do it on the other side. So if you're opposite to me, don't worry about it. You'll just reverse what I'm saying. Otherwise, the weight will come into the right hand. You press that weight all the way up and overhead. It stays there. Look up towards the weight. Start to twist yourself towards the right. First step, fingertips. Second step, palm. Final step, forearm down. Oh, that's a good stretch in the hip. And then as you exhale, press away, de-rotate. We're going for 8 in total, so you've got 7 more. One more. Bring the weight to the shoulder. Whoo. Set it down. We're just going to take a little child's pose here. I think a vinyasa after that's a bit brutal. So send your hips back, reach those arms forward. If you prefer to take a puppy pose to stretch out those shoulders, feel free to do that. Just take 3 deep breaths. Ground into your hands, ripple through the spine, round yourself all the way up. We're going to take a couple of rounds of cat-cow before we come into the next one. So inhale, drop your belly, and then exhale, tuck and round. So imagine that space where your rib cage meets. Think of someone poking you there, really round, 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 round your spine, tuck your tail under, and then inhale, reach the sternum through the gateway of the arms. Just one more. As you exhale, tuck and round, pull your tail underneath you, round your back. And then come back to a neutral spine. From here, you're going to tuck under your toes, lift yourself up into a bear pose, send yourself back, downward facing dog, and then walk, walk, walk yourself all the way to the top of the mat. Roll yourself all the way up to standing. So this next one is a little bit tricky to get a hold of. What we're aiming for is a side bend in the spine. So when we come into our side bend half moons, we want our spine to actually curve and accept weight and not just shove our hips over from side to side. So that's what we're working on here. This is also going to help us when we do overhead presses to actually be able to move through the spine and not just be so rigid. I'm going to do this with a kettlebell. You could do it with a dumbbell and you'll just pass it from hand to hand. I'm going to start with the kettlebell in my left hand. If you're going opposite to me, then that's fine. You would just reverse it. My hands are going to be staggered on the kettlebell. So it's kind of resting between my thumb and the heel of my hand because I'm going to flip it into my other hand. So I've got it all the way as close to my body as I can. So I've got a little bit of space on the other side of the handle of the kettlebell. You're going to take your elbows wide. So like you were going to elbow someone from side to side. Think about your left rib cage coming to your left hip and stretching through the right side of your body. So reach your right elbow up to the sky. That right hand is going to come onto the kettlebell. As you exhale, we're going to reverse this movement. So your right elbow is going to come down. That kettlebell is going to flip over your hands. And now you're going to crunch in through your right sideways. So we're going to practice this transition a few times and then we're going to add the press. So now we're going to reverse it. So now you're going to start to contract your left obliques. Those left ribs are going to come towards the left hip as that kettlebell comes over. Right arm reaches up, stretch the right side of your body, and then you're going to reverse it. You'll come down through the right, up through the left, side crunch. Now we're going to speed it up a little bit. So you'll flip and you'll flip. And we're keeping a little bend into our knees, into our knees as well. Okay, now we're going to add press to this. So starting on the left again. So coil through the left. You're going to take it over to the right. Release your left hand. As you exhale, left elbow comes down towards the left hip as you press that right arm up. So it's a big side body stretch. Then we're going to reverse it. That right elbow is going to come down towards the right hip. The left elbow comes up. Grab the kettlebell with the left hand. We're doing our flip. You're going to come over towards the left. Left elbow to the left rib cage. Now our right elbow comes to the right rib as our left hand presses up. Big side body stretch. So think contraction to lengthen. We're going to reverse it. So that left elbow comes down to the left rib cage. Little crunch. Take the kettlebell with the right hand. Flip it over. Right elbow, right hip. Left elbow to sky. Now the left elbow comes down as the right arm presses up. Right elbow comes down as the left elbow comes up. Left hand grabs the kettlebell. Flip it over. Left elbow down, right elbow up. Right elbow is going to crunch in as we press that left weight up. Left elbow down, right elbow up. Grab the kettlebell, flip it over. Left elbow crunches as we press the right hand up. Hopefully you get it by now. We're going to do 4 more on each side. So you should feel this a lot in your abs. Did I say 4 more on each side? I meant 4 more in total. 2 more on each side. Our last one. And then you'll just let that kettlebell go. We'll take it through a vinyasa. We're going to meet in a down dog. Inhale, you'll sweep your right leg up. As you exhale, step it all the way through. Lower the back knee, untuck the toes. So we're coming into a very similar move to what we just did before with that little half kneeling position. So you'll grab your weight into your right hand or whatever leg is in front, and you're going to press it up overhead. So instead of twisting this time, we're going to come out to the side. So depending on what feels better in your body, you could either come out to a diagonal on the left or straight out to the left side of your body. I'll turn so that you can see me from the front. So look up towards your weight. First step, left fingertips come down to the floor, either just outside your left knee or more on a diagonal. Second step would be palm. Third step, I have hair in my eye, would be that forearm coming down towards the floor. And then as you exhale, you'll press the floor away, come all the way back up to standing. Again, we go. So look up towards the kettlebell, bring yourself down to wherever you're coming down. It's more of a side body, lower back stretch now. And then as you exhale, press up. And feel free to play around with angles here. So you might find that coming on a diagonal works better for you. You might find that coming straight out to the side works better for you. Everybody's different. We go for 4 more. And then you'll bring it down. You'll take yourself, you don't have to turn, I just need to turn because I was facing the other way. You'll take yourself with or without a vinyasa back to downward dog. Inhale, you'll sweep your other leg up, so left leg up. Exhale, step it through. Lower the back knee, untuck the toes. We're on the other side. So now you know what we're doing. You'll take the weight into the left hand. Send that hand all the way up to the sky. Look up towards the weight if you can, and then choose your angle, knowing that this side might be different to the other side. We're going for 8 in total. Take it at your pace. One more. Bring it down with or without a vinyasa. Make your way to downward facing dog. Look towards the top of look towards the middle of your mat. You're going to step, walk, or float your knees down. And we're going to come to standing on our shins. I'm going for a lighter weight again, just because it's hard and I need to do a lighter weight. You're going to be pressing out in front of you, so it's a lot on the shoulders. You're going to start with your weight in at your chest. So just like you would in camel pose, I want you to press your shins down into the floor, a little bit of a tuck of your tail underneath you just to engage your glutes. So we're not here and we're not here. We're pretty neutral, but I want you to engage your legs to support you here. You're going to take an inhale. As you exhale, you're going to press that weight out in front of you. Inhale it back to your chest. As you exhale, elbows stay high and wide. You're going to twist to the left, back to center. Press the weight into your chest, twist to the right, back to center. Press, center, twist from the torso, keep your hips facing forward, back to center, press. Center, twist right, center, press, center, twist left, center, press, center, twist right, center. 6 more. And then set that weight down with or without a vinyasa. Make your way to downward facing dog. Take a nice deep inhale. Take a nice deep exhale. I'm just going to rearrange my floor again. You stay in downward dog and keep on enjoying your little break here. So you want to make sure that you've got a little bit of room for this next one. And a little bit of padding underneath your knees. Hopefully I'm still in the camera. Okie dokie. So, if you've only got one weight, then you will just do this with one weight. If you've got 2 weights, then you will grab both of your weights. You're going to make your way into a straddle position. So from your downward dog, you can just hop yourself forward. Make sure you've got enough room all around you. You're going to move. So you're going to come into a straddle position. If you need to bend your knees a little bit, bend your knees a little bit. If you've got one weight, you'll just pick a hand and you'll rotate towards that side and then you'll go the other way. If you've got 2 weights, you're going to bring them both to your shoulders. When you're ready, you're going to take a nice deep inhale. As you exhale, you're going to press right, inhale it down, exhale, press left, inhale it down. Keep the weights at your shoulders. You're going to tuck your heels in towards you, so like a mermaid position. So right shin is in front, left shin is behind. We're going to come all the way up to standing on the shins. Right foot is going to tuck a little bit behind. You're going to step your left foot forward. So now we're in a half kneeling position. As you exhale, you're going to twist towards the left, so towards your front leg. Come back to center. Press into your left foot. Come all the way to standing. Then you're going to hinge yourself forward into a warrior 3. Those weights are going to come down. You're going to do a row. My palms are facing the back of the room, elbows wide. Inhale, let it go. Come all the way back up to standing and we're going to reverse it. So you could bring the weights back to your shoulders or you could keep them down. So your right leg is going to step back. So it's almost like you're coming into a floating crescent lunge. Then your knee taps down. Right foot swivels so that you can sit your hips back back behind your leg. You'll send your left leg out wide, right leg out wide. We've come back to our straddle. Now we get to do it on the other side. So as you exhale, you'll lead with your left press, bring it center, exhale right, bring it center. This time the left shin will end up in front. So tuck that left leg in front of you, right leg behind you like a mermaid. Press into your shins to come to stand. That right foot will step out in front of you. So now you're half kneeling. Twist towards your right. Come back to center. Press into your right foot. Come all the way to standing. I feel like I'm like in the face of the camera. I have no idea what this is going to look like. Release those weights down as you hinge forward into your warrior three. Exhale, you'll row. Inhale, you'll set it down. You'll come all the way back up to standing. Slow and control. Start to bend that right knee. Float that left leg back behind you. It's like a cross between a warrior three and a crescent lunge. Set the left leg down. Scooch that left leg towards the top of your space so that you can sit your hips behind it. Send your right leg wide, left leg wide, you're back in a straddle. Now do you see why you need space? Because you're just going to wiggle all over the place. We're going to do a few more on each side. So, right arm press, center, left arm press, center. Sweep your legs into your mermaid, your right leg in front, your left leg behind. Press to stand on your shins, step the left leg forward, twist to the left, come through center, press into your left foot, come all the way to stand, release your weights, come down into your warrior three, row, release, come back to stand, float that right leg back as slow as you can, set it down, kick the right foot towards the top of the space, weights to the shoulders as you sit the hips back, kick the left leg to a straddle, right leg to a straddle, left arm press, center, right arm press, center, mermaid your legs, left leg in front, press to stand on the shins. Step your right foot forward, twist to the right, center, press into your right foot to stand. Weights come down as you come into your warrior three, row, release, come back up, slow and steady, step it all the way back. Weights to the shoulders, sit your hips behind your heel, right leg wide, left leg wide, readjust yourself on your mat if you need to. Good, we're going to go through 2 more rounds on each side, so 4 more in total, it's not many. Oopsie. 1 more on each side. One more. From here. come back to a straddle. Whew. Set those weights down. And then we're just going to fold ourselves forward. So you can use those weights as a little bit of an anchor. Try and turn your toes up towards the sky. If it's available in your body, you can play around with some active internal and external rotation. So think about keeping long through your spine so you're still hinging from your hips, but you think about turning your pinky toe down towards the floor and then turning your big toe down towards the floor. So it's like you're actively rotating your femur in your hip socket. Take a couple more breaths here. Beautiful. You'll grab behind those legs, you'll wiggle, 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 wiggle. We're going to finish with one final standing move. So you just need one weight again for this. So the heavier the weight, it's just going to make the balance harder. So you don't, this is not specifically like you're not going to press anything overhead. So come to stand in the center of your mat, pick your hand that you want your weight in. I've got mine in my left hand. We're going to come into a half moon sort of pose. So float your right leg. That left hand is going to start to come down towards the floor. Remember that you have to come back up from here. So don't go down too low. Try and keep your chest opening towards the long end of your mat. And then as you exhale, you'll come all the way back up to center. As you inhale, bring yourself down into that half moon. You should feel your top obliques working a lot. And then as you exhale, bring it back up. We're just going for 6 more. Number of the day is 8. Just 3 more. The last one. Set that weight down. Give that left leg a little bit of a shake. Last move, last side. You'll grab that weight in the right hand or whatever hand you didn't use last time. Get light on your left foot, stand up nice and tall. And then it's like a little teeter-totter, like you're coming into your half moon. Keep your chest opening towards the right side or the long side of your mat. And then exhale, press into your foot. Use your top oblique. Come all the way back up to stand. You've got 7 more. Last one. Beautiful. Set that weight off to the side. Come to the top of your mat. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, generous bend in your knees. Forward fold, let your spine round. Grab opposite hand to opposite elbow. Just let yourself sway from side to side. Then you plant your hands with or without vinyasa. You're going to make your way to downward dog. Roll yourself forward into plank and then roll yourself all the way down to the floor. We're going to take a sphinx pose. Bring your elbows underneath your shoulders. Pull your chest through the gateway of the arms. Lengthen through your lower back and create space between your ears and your shoulders. So it should feel really good in through the upper back. And you're going to roll yourself down. Bring your right arm out to the side like a little cactus. Left hand underneath the shoulder. Press the floor away. Look towards the left. Feel a nice big stretch in through the front of your right shoulder. And then we're just going to take that to the other side. Come back through center. We're going to finish today in child's pose. So press yourself up. Find any other movements that you need to along the way. And then send your hips back into your child's pose, really rounding out that spine. If there's somewhere else that you wanted to finish your practice today, any other movements or positions that feel better for you, please feel free to go there. Wherever you land, I encourage you to take a really deep breath in through your nose and then a big open mouth exhale. As always, thank you so much for practicing with me today. Please feel free to stay here in your right final resting position for as long as what serves you, or feel free to take any other stretches or movements that you need. I hope to see you again soon on the next video. Until then, namaste.